Hey, what's going on, good people? It's Gardner Douglas, your Oyster Ninja. I'm here with Mr. Justin Rolling, Mr. Grub with us on the water cooking straight out of the Eastern Shore,
Really?
straight
Well, I'm
out of
from,
Philly.
but I shoot on the Eastern Shore and live on
Okay.
the Western Shore.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
all,
You shoot on the Eastern Shore and you stay on the Western Shore.
yes, sir.
Shore life.
All day.
That's what's up, man. We met over social media. I guess it's been a little while now. And of course you had some great videos and I was like, man, that's good content. And then I think I saw something where I think you were like near Annapolis and or something like that. I was like, oh, he's kind of local. So um I was like, yeah, I need to at least link up and let him know, hey man, keep doing a good job. But
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you found it in your heart to sit down with the Oyster Ninja today. Um,
Yes.
your social media is killing it, man. Right now you're sitting at over 26K followers. I think you just hit a milestone, right?
I just hit 26 today.
Just
Yeah.
hit 26 on your birthday.
Crazy, right?
Come on now. Okay. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, my name's Justin. I've just turned 28 today. I'm 28 years old. Everybody always asks me how I started cooking and how I started grilling and stuff. It all started from my mom knows how to cook, my grandma knows how to cook, and my dad knows how to grill and cook. So like growing up, I would just be in the kitchen watching them. My grandma has pictures of me as a kid, like cooking in the kitchen with like flour on my face and everything. And as I got older, I've been making cooking videos since like 2017. I had like a YouTube channel back in the day where I would just make these long videos before figure out the algorithm. And I always knew like I wanted to do something to display like how I could cook. I just didn't know the algorithm. I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't really. All I was doing was just making long videos of me talking and stuff. I even went out to restaurants and did like food vlogging. Like I would just pull up to different restaurants in Philly and do food reviews in my car. And like I went to Max's Cheesesteaks, um, Sofa, like all these spots out in Philly. I would just give them free interviews just because like I always knew that I had talent to be able to do reviews and put people on like good food, but I just didn't know like the strategy of it. So when I started making cooking videos on YouTube, I was it was long and it was cool, but like I needed to step it up a notch. So I started studying like Instagrammers, like I'll even drop names like Grill Nation, Grilling with Dad, Chef Kuso. Like I just reached out to them one day because I'm like, yo, my content on YouTube isn't really popping off like that, and I feel like I had a great setup. I know how to cook. I love the background, but I just don't know how to get my stuff up there. And they gave me like a lot of great tips, and I just took their tips and kind of ran with it, and started my own little Instagram food page. But about me though, I'm a counselor. I work with kids. I love counseling the kids. Nothing comes from my job. I tell every company I've been in contact with, like working with kids is my number one passion. I love cooking, but it's not my passion. So like I even started like a grilling club with the kids, teaching them how to grill and stuff like that. So like I love being able to talk to kids, know how they're feeling, and just inspire them to be somebody better, be better than me, be better than anybody that you ever met. Like be your own person. And that is like that's my aspiration. I love working with kids. I was a teacher for a little bit, and then I went back to graduate school, got my master's in school counseling. So yeah, that's my number one passion. This food stuff is just for just a fun little hobby I got going on.
Right, right. It's what's trending right now, but your passion is
So
with the kids, man. I love that, man.
I've been working with kids since 2017, and the COVID-19 has a huge effect, and you can see it. It's slowly starting to die down, but like last year I was eighth grade counselor. This year I'm a sixth grade counselor. My sixth graders they never had an assembly before. So we had an assembly for the first time in their whole entire life because they were in second to third grade when COVID happened. So like their social skills, they rely on their phones. Like I'm tech, like you can't go in the hallway without a kid on their phone. Like they're like addicted to it. So their social skills are kind of off. The communication skills are kind of off. They don't know how to express their feelings. Because COVID-19 not only did it cause a lot of health issues to people, but it also damaged the next generation's skills to be able to socialize, communicate properly, and be able to share their feelings. And like you see it each and every day. It's kind of getting better as these like when you like fifth graders next year. COVID happened when they were in like kindergarten, so like they didn't hit them that hard. It hit the kids who were in elementary school, who had to get up, go to school, eat lunch, talk to people, do their homework on paper. Now everything's online. A lot of kids don't even like taking tests on paper now. They don't know how to like take a test on paper. So I think COVID-19, outside of like the health damages, and I think it did worse with the prices, the inflation, everything. I think it hurt the kids worse than inflation. Like it's the health problems, the kids, an upcoming generation, and then inflation. Like I feel like, and that's not really talked about, but it really did a damage on kids. The kids are totally different than 2019 when I was working with them.
First of all, I'm gonna say I totally agree with you, but I gotta get you back on the road on because you said we wasn't gonna go political, and I hear that inflation, and we ain't trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
canceled out here, by
oh
nobody.
yeah, for sure.
But no, I definitely feel you. I mean, my son is 8, and I feel like if it weren't for us being parents, and well, I say us, but I was always working. But my wife definitely being a great mom, being
Mhm.
hands on, and taking him out of the house, still socializing with his cousins. I mean, man, like I totally agree with you, and I see exactly what you're talking about,
Mhm.
and man, that's why what you're doing, man, on your in your real life is so important, man. And I wanted to spotlight that. And that was another part when I
Appreciate
initially reached out to you that kind of stood out. I was like, yo, the young black guy who actually cares, like for real, not for, as the young people say, clout.
you. Wow,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So we ain't capping here. We
for
not
sure.
capping. See,
Yeah, yeah,
I
we doing
guess
it.
I
We
used
doing it.
it.
We doing it for fun.
I guess I used it right because you just went with it. But yeah, you know what I
Now
mean? Like,
you used it right. We ain't capping.
so it's funny because I was watching a Instagram video and they was using all these terms, and I'm like, what?
What are they talking about?
Right. So you said you started in a well, first of all, like you're doing great things with the mentoring and counseling kids.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just gonna ask you because as we talked in before, like I got some other
Sure.
podcast ideas, but how was
Uh-huh.
your upbringing?
So my upbringing, I ain't even gonna lie, like I'm it was like, my mom and dad, they got divorced when I was younger, but they always stayed in my life. They always raised me. My dad and my mom literally lived like 5 minutes from each other. My grandparents were right up the street. I have zero complaints on my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to be as humble as possible. But when it comes to me growing up, I had everything. I had food on the table. I had a room. I went to a good school. I have zero complaints. I thank my mom and my dad and my grandparents all the time for just providing for me and being able to live, a good childhood life. Was it easy for me? Nah, because I grew up in the suburbs, so I was kind of like that kid where I didn't really know what friend group I belonged to. So, I fit in kind of with everybody, but like sometimes people look at me like, oh, this corny dude, this dude don't know how to really flow with people. I didn't really figure out how to like flow truly with like every type of group until I got to college. Because in high school, I was only like when you get to high school, it's crazy how segregated schools are, like within like friends and stuff like that. So like majority of my friends growing up, like they didn't really look like me. But when I got to high school, I started hanging around people who really looked like me, and I didn't know how to really act. Like I was watching them and be like, oh, wait. Like I remember the first time it was just wild. But when I got to college, that's when I kind of found myself. Because in high school, I didn't really have a specific friend group. I was just Justin. And then when I got to college, I really started learning about myself, being on my own, not relying on my parents for everything, and just finding myself. But as far as me growing up, everything was great. I'm not even gonna lie. I always come humble about it, but my parents and my grandparents, they did a great job.
Man, it really sounds like you talking about growing up. Sounds like you grew up a lot faster than the average people. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure if that has to do with having your grandparents in life because I feel like a lot of people who actually have like older grandparents and not young grandparents,
Mhm.
they grow up a lot faster. Um
Yeah,
or they mature a lot faster. I'm not gonna say grow up.
for
Um
sure.
but they mature a lot faster. And from what you're saying and what I'm hearing, it sounds like from my experiences, what I've seen.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, what do you say? You 26, 28?
28 today.
Yeah, 28, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your first beginnings into social media. You say you started the YouTube like long format first.
So I actually started a YouTube channel when I was like 11. I ain't even gonna lie. I was when YouTube first came out, and this is probably a fact that you probably don't know about me. I'm actually like a GIF, like a famous GIF. A lot of people don't know that, but if you ever see that little black kid that's jumping up all scared, I don't know if you've seen that or not. That's me. Only the people who I really grew up with really know that, and people who
That's
find out.
funny.
So back when you know the game Scary Maze,
I mean, it sounds familiar, but no, I don't know it.
so it's like a game where like you push, like you put this little dot into this maze, and then when you get to the end, like this monster pops out of the screen. So me and my stepsister one day, when YouTube, this is when YouTube like first came out. I created a YouTube channel and we made a Scary Maze like reaction video. It was fake though because I knew it was gonna come out, and we did it. Boozy uploaded it. It didn't do any numbers until like maybe 3 years later, and it went viral. And people were using it for like before the word viral even like really existed. And everybody was like saying like, "Yo, there's this video you crying online." I'm like, "Stop lying!" And then I'm like, "Oh snap!" And then it was featured on like ESPN, Tosh.0, so many different platforms. Like the Shade Room posted it a billion times. It's still you like people tag me in it all the time. So that's when I really started like using social media when I was like 12, and I had like a YouTube channel. And I kind of took a break from it when I was undergrad. And when I graduated college, I kind of was like, I want to do something on social media, but like I don't know what I want to do. So when I graduated college, I was teaching for a little bit. Then I went back to grad school and I started my own like YouTube channel, just basically talking about like college life problems. Like I was an academic advisor, so I would make videos on like how to pass every single class, or like I've flunked out and I don't know what to do, or like how to join Greek life. Like it was just a bunch of college videos, like how traits you can't take from high school to college because it's not going to work. And because I was an academic advisor and I was helping out hundreds of kids on my campus, and everybody's like, dude, like I wish we could multiply you like in different campuses. So I'm like, let me start a podcast or whatever. Um, I was shooting those videos, but then I was applying for jobs after I graduated grad school, and I was a lot. It was really opinionated, like in a lot of my videos. And I'm like, I don't know if this is like a good thing when people look at me because like they kind of know too much about me, and I don't want them to judge me off just me giving advice to college students about getting good grades and joining Greek life and stuff like that. So I kind of swiped that, and I was like, maybe in the future I might come back to it if I want to continue it. But for now, I just want to just focus on being a counselor and being me. Um, like I said, I've been making food videos for a minute, like on YouTube, just here and there. But I didn't really take it up a next notch. So I was like, yo, I think I should display. Like it got to the point where I'd be at my grandparents' spot and I'd be sitting out back just chilling. And I'm like, bro, I gotta share this with somebody. Like I'm just out here just grilling by myself and just drinking beer, and like I gotta share this moment with somebody and share these recipes with somebody. So that's when I took a further step to kind of make my own cooking page on Instagram, which was about a year and a half ago. So yeah, social media has always been my best friend, in a good way and a bad way. But I always try to make sure that I always knew like there's something out there that I could do. I hate the word influencer. There's something there that I could be like a role model to people and put people on stuff.
So real quick, you
Uh,
said a good way and a bad way. What's the bad way?
so like with social media, you gotta be careful because anything that you do is there for life. So um, like for an example, like when I was making like college videos, like I would make like a couple controversial videos about like frats and fraternities and sororities, and I got kicked back for that. Like, oh, you're saying too much and everything, and I'm like, my bad. So I wiped that down, and you just never know. Like I could go to the store, get into it with somebody, and somebody could be recording it, and then boom, it's all posted on social media. So like, when I say that, I mean like social media is a good thing to get your business out, but you also got to be careful because it could be used against you as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you, man. I feel like honestly, so like I said, I gotta go work tomorrow, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
you look at my social media, you would think I'm just an oyster shucker. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? You don't think I do anything else, but I got a real job. I got a real life. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Um, uh, But for a long time, I wouldn't post anything about my family. I wouldn't post anything about the job. I was in the military. I didn't post anything. I just, kept it straight to seafood. And like even now, I would say honestly, a lot of my family, not a lot, most of them know now, but a lot of them don't even know I work for the government. They just go by social media. Oh, you shuck oysters. You still shucking oysters? You
I
know
didn't
what I
even
mean?
know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I totally get it, man. But that's the day and age we live in where you can tell your own story.
Yeah,
It's a pro and a con, but you can tell your own story.
exactly.
So dang boy, that boy bad. That's why they call him the Oyster Ninja. I swear. So speaking of telling your own story, um, you stated earlier, about figuring out the algorithm and reaching out to other people, influencers to
Mhm.
really learn. What I mean, is it anything that you can share or that you want to share
For sure.
far as like getting over humps? I'll give you a
Mhm.
prime example. I
Mhm.
feel like I cannot make it to 8,000 followers. I'll get to like 7,000 and or I'll get to 7,999 and then I'll lose 20 followers. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
so is it anything that you can what would you suggest?
So with Instagram, you have to number one with Instagram, you have to do vertical. Like all your videos have to be vertical because if it's like a square, sometimes that can hurt it a little bit. The number one thing, I think the food channel is Black Food Life. They told me when I DM'd them asking the same thing, they put me on straight game. Like the stuff that I wish I could read it off, they told me like everything. But
It's
the
okay. You can
biggest thing,
send it to me later.
yeah, I got you for sure.
No,
The
thanks.
best advice he told me is you're battling people's attention span, and everybody's attention span gets worse every single day.
Mhm.
So as long as, however long you can keep them on your video, boosts your video up in the algorithm. So I'll make like intros. Like I'm playing with intros right now. Like sometimes I do full body intros. Those usually take off. Or like if I just like let's grill something, something that'll take off. Or if I say an opinion like y'all ready for some salmon? Come watch me before I make this video. So I was fooling around with that. But the main thing is you have to keep people on your video. I think it's like what 30% of your video, then it gets boosted up in the algorithm. Angles, lighting. Like I try not to put like I'm moving my tripod. Like when I'm seasoning, my tripod is full of grease and seasonings. Like because like when I'm seasoning food, like I'm picking up the tripod, adjusting it, moving it to get like different angles. So like the person isn't just staring at one angle the whole time. Oh, I feel so bad for my tripod. That's the dirtiest thing ever. Um, but that's another thing I do. Make different cuts, funny punchlines, voiceovers. Making sure that the quality is good. Like sometimes with an iPhone, like it'll be blurry, so I wipe my phone so many times during the shoot just to make sure it's good. Um, I even like use like the fire pit in the background. Like I tried to test that to see if that worked, and it kind of worked a little bit. Just to try to keep the viewer's attention. And I try to keep each video between like 15 to 30 seconds. And at first I was trying to show too much of myself. Like at the end, like people usually click off at the end. Like me eating at food at the end, people click off because they don't want to see me eat the food. So now I just make it quick. I just eat, punch, boom, it's over.
Mm.
To like me eating and taking a drink and doing a little pose and all that, people don't want to see that. They just click off. So
Yeah.
I had to learn that. Like you just got to be short and sweet on Instagram. YouTube is a totally different ball game. I have not figured out the YouTube algorithm yet. That's one thing that I want to work on. Um, but once I figure out the YouTube algorithm, hopefully I'll do it. I haven't even figured out the IG algorithm, honestly. Um, I feel like the only people that truly know the algorithm are the people who know how to edit really good. Like I'm talking like effects and stuff and angles. I'm not at that level at all.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, the algorithm is basically how long can you keep people watching your video, and whether if it's the way you talk, whether if it's the food. Like I put the food in the beginning now. Like I put the like if I'm making oysters, I'll put like a shot of the oysters in the beginning, so they're like, oh, hold on, let me watch this dude who's
Right,
cooking
right.
underwater make these oysters real quick. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's kind of how I took the algorithm is, and also lighting as well too. That's really important. I don't have to use like all the cameras and stuff because I depend on the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and that also sucks too because sometimes the sun will come around and the clouds will get in the middle, and then my food you can see like half it shadowy and half the food sunny. which is
Mhm.
annoying relying on the sun. That's why when it's cloudy, I love it because I don't have to. It's just natural lighting. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks on social media. Editing is easy for me. That's like the easy part. The hardest part is getting the angles and shooting and doing everything on time. And oh snap, I forgot the salt. I gotta run back inside and go get the salt while I'm still shooting and it's in the middle of cooking. Or I
Mhm.
forgot to get a spatula and I literally have to sprint inside to go get a spatula while I was in the. That's the hardest part. That's the worst part ever. Once I'm done shooting and getting the angles, I sit back and I'm like, all right, now it's time to edit. That's the easy part. But the
Have
hardest part is like shooting.
Have you done any videos or like behind the scenes where like, oh, I forgot, or any of those?
Oh, I got a ton. I was thinking about making a complaint. I think that's how you say it. Of I got videos of me cutting myself while I was cutting up onions,
Oh
cursing,
wow. Yeah.
and when birds are in the way or when flies come around, I kick the bang and I'll smack the fly. Or like a bird will be in the background, like and I'm like, shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
One
Oh,
of them
I get screamed
crows.
at. Oh, the worst is when I'm shooting and my grandmom comes out. Justin, what are you cooking? And I'm like, my mom, you messing up my video. You know what I'm saying? Those are I have about 7 of those.
Yo, you might get a career in stand-up comedy also, brother. That's crazy.
I
Love to
do.
hear it, man.
Sure.
Well, let's talk about because we were talking about some of your deals. I don't know if you call
Mhm.
this a brand deal or not, but right
Great
now
deal.
you got the Traeger on. Like, let's hear about some of your deals.
Yeah, so I was my biggest dream was like, yo, I want to get sponsored by like a company. I wanted to get sponsored by a beer company. I just feel like that'd be so awesome to just
I know,
have
right?
beer just show up at your front door and you're just like, yo, I'm sponsored by a beer company, which hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it does.
We'll talk it
Um,
in
but-
existence.
oh yeah, for sure. But I was DMing a bunch of grill brands. Like I DM'd the Big Green Egg. They didn't give me a response. I DM'd one of the grill companies. I can't remember. They responded to me. They sent me like a thing, but they were just talking about just shooting content on their grill, and it was nothing, anything. I applied for Traeger. They called me back like 30 minutes later, and he was like, "Yo, I love your content. Like I'm really surprised and happy for what I'm seeing. Like we're gonna get a Traeger sent out to you and everything." And I'm like, "For real?" Like I was like in shock. I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome." So I'm thinking they were gonna send me like the regular Traeger. Like that's not the digital one. So I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, like what Traeger are you sending me so I could like look it up and do reviews on it? We're gonna send you the new Traeger Ironwood. I'm like, oh snap. So they sent me that. I didn't believe it at first because like I was waiting on it. I would get like Traeger would send me pellets, and I'd be like, yo, y'all sent me pellets, but I didn't get the grill yet. And they were like, yo, I'm so sorry. Something happened in the thing. So they sent me the Traeger. It showed up at my front door, and that was like a full circle moment. Like I shed tears because I was like, the power of a phone could get me this $1,800 Traeger, and they trust me enough in order to build content for them. Like I told them at Traeger, I'm like, yo, y'all are not gonna be disappointed. Like I'm gonna need a new Traeger in about a year because I'm gonna be using this every single I'm gonna be dropping content. This Traeger's not gonna work in a year because I'm gonna use it so much and put y'all on. And I already have friends like trying to buy a Traeger now. You know what I'm saying? Just off this, they're like, yo, I didn't know that you can make a pizza on a grill. I didn't know you can make breakfast on a grill. Like that's like it's like an oven. It's like a oven with a smoker on it. So yeah, Traeger's awesome. You got these little companies that send you seasonings here and there, and I always try to make sure, I put them on my story, shout them out. But yeah, as far as like companies, I have people reach out to me all the time, and I'm open to anything. I'm not that type. I'm not the type of person that does this for money whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I make a good income what I do right now. I literally just do this to put people on game and just try to just show them how to be a better cook. In no way, shape, or form, I'm a chef. But when the businesses start calling your phone, I'll take money, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna send me like a product like that's $1,800 and I didn't sign anything, like that just shows that you have trust in me, and I'm gonna make sure that I look out 100%, and I'm gonna make really good content for them. Period. They don't even have to ask me for anything.
So I'm asking for the small influencers here.
Mhm.
What does that reach out look like?
So usually, and I wouldn't even say I'm a big like I don't even think I'm up there yet. Like I'm still trying to figure everything out. But I would say it looks like usually I'll DM them. I usually don't email them first. I usually just slide in a DM because I want them to see like my page. Like the other day, I hit up Meter Maid. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because I was about to buy a thermometer. I swear to God, I was on Amazon And I'm like, you know what? Let me DM Meter Maid just to see if they were working me. And I DM'd them. They told me to apply on the website, and they hit me back like, yeah, we'll send you out one and everything. I'm still waiting on them, but you know, as long as you want them to see your profile, so if you have good content, and I would say your highest videos, pin them at the top so they see it, and yeah, DM them, tell them that you know you're a content creator, that you want to that you're interested in working with them, and I will bring and that you will bring value to their company by any means necessary. And check out my page if you feel free, and let me know if you want to work with me. I'm open to it, and then I put my email at the bottom. And usually they'll tell you to apply on their website or something like that. And then once you do that, you either get a phone call back, a no call. Like I've gotten a bunch of companies like that just haven't reached back, got back out to me. I try to use the right terms, but you know, it just comes with the business. You know, people believe in you or they don't. I don't take it any hard type of way. You know, I just know that hopefully in the future that they'll look back and be like, wow, I wish I would have invested with GrubWithJus.
Right, right, right.
That's all I really. The people that do believe in me, you know, they're gonna get everything I got.
Mm.
For sure.
Oh, man, come on, man. Come on, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the podcast for one thing, because granted, I just reached out to you, to say, hey, man, I appreciate what you're doing. I love what you're doing. But that's what I love about this podcast is it's mine for one. So
for sure.
one on here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember we were supposed to do it before, but it was during the Eagles and Cowboys games, and for big time Eagles, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm watching the Eagles and Cowboys game. We're gonna have to reschedule. I didn't know it was on that day,
right?
And I was in Harrisburg, and I told you, I was like, I promise you, I'm gonna get on here. You know what I'm saying? To show love.
Yeah. Dang. So what's next? What's your next social media goal? Like it's crazy. Like it's I kind of wanted to stay away from like the social media conversation because I know you're more than social media.
Nah, you good.
But it's like the way my mind is set up, I'm so inquisitive about social media because like that's what we spend our time on. That's what our screen time, So like what are your next goals for social media?
I want to make a brisket. Like I've never made a brisket before. I want to make a freaking brisket. Like I'm talking like all day. Like I'm talking let that thing sit on the Traeger all day, get the juiciest look at the end. Like that's one of my main goals of 2024. I'm gonna make a brisket video and it goes stupid viral. If it doesn't go viral, I'm gonna be in the corner like, what the heck did I do wrong? But I want to make a brisket video. I don't really care about like the followers and stuff like that because like that's just gonna come and go. I can't control it. But I mean, it would be nice to have a couple more. I'm happy with 26. 26 is cool. Kind of just keep the tradition going. I don't want to be lax like where I start falling back and getting comfortable and not creating content. I also got my grilling club in the summertime, so I also want to do something for my students who are interested in grilling, like whether a company sends me money, like if we have a grilling competition with the kids, or I want to put my students on something like. Just how I like Traeger hit me up and sent me a grill. Like I want my students to get something, whether if it's money, whether if it's gift cards, whether if it's like for showing up over the summertime, hanging out with their counselor at the grill. Like I want them to have more than just the food we eat. I want a company to see that and be like, yo, every single kid that's in that group, we're gonna send them a grill, or we're gonna send them a gift card, or we're gonna I want to get an endorsement for my students. Like that would be the ultimate dream of mine without creating this, because I'm using my platform to build a future for some of my other students. You never know; they might go on to create their own little channel and stuff like that. So, if I get sponsored for them, that'd be awesome. Like,
what's crazy is like you say that kind of chillax as far as like them starting their own channel, but like I mean, I was on Instagram last night and I saw this little 8-year-old. I'm like, what is this 8-year-old doing with Instagram? But they went viral like numerous times, and all they're putting is like short little clips. I'm like, yo,
little clips.
I'm like, what the heck?
People love seeing that. They love seeing kids knowing what they're doing, and
like
they can make money from that.
Yeah. Have you talked to your students about like the power of social media? I mean, I know social media is also a scary place for kids also, so I don't want to, go over that, but have you talked to them about social media?
Yeah, I've talked to all the time. Social media is a problem with kids. It's actually not a good thing. You got Snapchat, you got a lot of bullying going on. You'll have students who'll find like teachers' Facebook pages, scroll back to like 10 years ago and find a picture of them like at a party, or and they'll go around sending out this like social media and with kids is not a good thing at all. I can't stand it, to be honest with you. But
Okay.
because half of my job, not half of it, I say 25% of my job is diffusing issues that came from social media, whether if it's bullying from Snapchat or fake Instagram pages or recording a fight and posting it online. Like, it's my job to be able to diffuse that and talk to them. So I'm really not a fan of kids having social media in a bad way. Do I think they should have social media? They're addicted to it. There is no way that I could tell a kid you can't go on social media. They're gonna find a way regardless. Whether if it's they use a friend's phone, whether if there's kids that secretly their parents don't give them, they'll secretly take their birthday money, buy a phone from somebody, or buy like an iPad or an iPod Touch or something, and the parents don't even know that they have it. Parents calling like, your kid said something, your kid posted online something. It'll be like, my kid doesn't even have a phone. So I'm like, ma'am, I'm gonna be honest with you, your kid has a phone. No, there's no way. I'm like, they have a phone. I'm snitching. Yeah, they have a phone, or they're using a friend's phone and they have an Instagram. So like, these kids are sneaky.
Wow.
They know what they're doing. And it's my job to make them realize that, although you have a phone, although you have social media, you have to be careful with it.
So what are the first few things you teach your kids about grilling?
So I always started off with no lighter fluid. Like, we don't use lighter fluid at all. I used to use it, but it gets in your food. It's not good for you. I actually did have to use it like 2 months ago at my dad's house because he didn't have his fire starter, and I felt defeated. But number one rule is we don't use lighter fluid. Teach them how to light charcoals with the fire starter that I got. Seasoning is more than just salt and pepper. Garlic and onion goes on everything we use. So when we're in there seasoning, I'm telling them garlic, onion, seasoned salt. Don't go too much with the seasoned salt, but you have to be able to season your food. That's the best part. That's how your food is going to taste good. And then controlling the temperature on the grill. Now with this Traeger, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it makes you hate. Like, that doesn't make me hate grilling, but like the other day I was cooking on my actual grill and I had to keep getting up, checking the temperature. I'm like, with the Traeger, you don't have to do all that stuff. I mean, it's scary. So like, I'm teaching them how to maintain the temperature, keeping the lid down, adding wood chips to the joint to keep it smoking, how to smoke and stuff like that. And then patience. So while it's grilling, like, we're outside playing football and stuff and blasting the speaker, just having a good time. But the main three things is controlling the temperature and washing your food, seasoning, and not using lighter fluid. How to start the grill and how to maintain the grill. I want to teach them how to clean up because by the time they're done eating, their parents are at the front door picking them up, and I'm up there cleaning up everything. So that's going to be the next goal.
Right.
2024. Teaching them how to clean the grill and how to clean up after yourself.
What are the requirements to get into your program?
Nothing. You want to show up and you have to be at my school. But if you're interested in grilling, like, and if there's some kids who be like, yo, Mr. Ron, I want to be a part of your grilling club, and I just know them as a student. I'm like, do you really want to be a part of my grilling club? Or they're like, yeah, Mr. Roland, but I'm like, I don't think they really want to. So I like test them and be like, what do you want to grill? They're like, I don't know, man. I just want to eat. I'm like, all right, we'll talk about it, but I just kind of leave them alone. I want the kids who actually going to be there at the grill, watching it, learning it, and then eventually towards the end they could take over. Like, I'm just there. Like, yo, we got these steaks. Here you go. Season them up. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go to the grill, and then we good. I want them to get to that point. If they can't get to that point, then it's like, bro, like, I want kids who want to learn from me and who actually want to be there. But if you show up in the middle of the summertime at school to grill as a middle schooler, that means you want to be there regardless.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because like so I take that back. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, if a kid in middle school shows up to their school in the summertime when they could be doing anything else just to grill with their counselor, I respect that 100%. You good with me?
Nice, man.
Sure.
What are your next goals as far as your personal life? Not personal life, but as far as with the school system or not in the school system.
Like I said, number one, I want to get my students put on over the summer who are in the grilling club. And I also want to make sure that every single person, I can't say the whole school because it's like 900 kids, but like the more students have a one-on-one mentor that looks like them, because that's a really big issue within the schools right now. My school is about 60% Hispanic, 40%, 30% Black, 10% white, and there's no Hispanic male role models. Like, there's one Hispanic male role model. And I just, like, my heart breaks for, like, my young Hispanic male students. Like, So I've been reaching out to different colleges, different Latino fraternities like LSU to be like, yo, please, yo, y'all can just pull up to the school, talk to the kids, do a step show. It's the same with black males. Like, there's not really a lot of, I think there's 3 of us in the school right now. I just want students to have mentors that look like them. And there's nothing wrong with any other race, like, you know, teaching and stuff like that. Like, they're doing a great job. But I do wish that a lot of students need to see more people that look like them so that they feel that they're able to do something in the future, that they see, like me, for an example. And they're like, yo, I want to be like Mr. Rowland when I grow up. And I know I can because he looks like me. Versus, you know, going in the streets. There's so much gang life going on. And they're like recruiting these kids to just get involved and like, because, oh, they look like me and they're in the gang, I'm going to just join him. That's what I'm destined for. It's like, nah, bro, like, you could be better than your parents, you could be better than your grandparents, you could be better than anybody you ever come in contact with. You just got to do the right thing. But it all starts, I think, with seeing somebody that looks like you that could be